One of the most important conversions in all of chemistry is the mole conversion. So it starts with the idea of relative atomic mass, which for carbon is 12.01. That tells us the relative mass of a single carbon atom. The problem is it's very difficult to measure out a single carbon atom. So chemists are clever, and they said, let's just make these grams. There's nothing magic about grams. It could be kilograms, it could be pounds. But because of the fact that science always works in the metric system, they chose to make that grams. So the next conversion, grams, like let's say for example 24 grams, and you want to be able to determine how many moles there are in 24 grams. So the simplest process is to take the number that you're given, in this case 24 grams, set up a conversion table. This number here is always the number that you were given, in this case 24 grams. And the rule is that whatever units you have here are the units that you put down here. So in this case, I've got grams of carbon. So I'm going to put grams of carbon here. And I want to end up in moles of carbon. Well, 1 mole of carbon is exactly 12 grams. So if I take 24 divided by 12, I get an answer of 2. And the units of grams cancel out. I'm left with moles. That's 2 moles of carbon. The next conversion that you often do is, so in that situation, you might be given the task of finding the mass, say, of 5 moles of lithium. So you repeat the process again, and up here you put what you're given, in this case 5 moles of lithium. I take whatever units I have here and put them down below. In this case I'm going to put moles of lithium, and I want to end up in grams of lithium. And I know that 1 mole of lithium is about 7 grams of lithium. So the moles of lithium cancel out. I take 5 times 7. I get 35 grams of lithium. So if you follow the same procedure every time, it makes life a lot simpler. The other idea that is fundamental to an understanding of chemistry is the idea that if you go back to carbon and you have 12 grams of carbon, well, that's 12 grams per mole. So some people like to do ratios. So if you have 12 grams of carbon per 1 mole, and let's say that you have 24 grams of carbon, that's 24 grams over X number of moles. So if you cross multiply and go 1 mole times 24, and that has to equal 12 times X, then you still end up with 2 moles of carbon. So you can either work these as a ratio of grams to moles, or you can work them as a conversion, because eventually you're going to get into very complex problems where you're going to have to do a whole bunch of conversions in a row. So if you're used to putting what you have here as you're given, and then the same units down here, and what you want to end up with up here, then we can add on to this process and do even more conversions later on.